In 1949, 3 days before he died, George Gurdjieff whispered something in the ear of his closest disciple that made the man tremble and never speak about that moment again, until today. What you are about to discover was deliberately hidden for decades because it represents the greatest danger to the systems of control that govern our society. There are 3 specific powers that Gurdjieff developed during his secret journeys through the East that are so revolutionary, so dangerous to the status quo, that they have been systematically erased from public records. Today, for the first time, you will discover exactly what these powers are and, more importantly, why they tried to hide them from you. But here's what they didn't want you to know: these powers were not exclusive to Gurdjieff. He discovered that we are all born with these capabilities, but there is a specific system designed to put them to sleep before we can discover their true potential. Gurdjieff called this the conspiracy of sleep, and you are about to wake up from it. The first power they hid from you is so simple you will laugh, but so revolutionary that it can literally rewrite your reality in 21 days. Gurdjieff discovered it during an impossible encounter with a Tibetan master in a lost Himalayan cave. What happened in that cave changed not only Gurdjieff's life, but the destiny of all who applied this secret knowledge. In the next 32 minutes, you will discover Gurdjieff's 3 hidden powers, understand exactly why they were hidden from you, and most importantly, how to awaken these dormant abilities that already exist within you. Get ready, because your life will never be the same after what you are about to discover. Gurdjieff was not just an ordinary spiritual teacher. He was one of the only Westerners to penetrate the most secret circles of Eastern esoteric traditions. For 20 years, he traveled through forbidden regions, learned from masters who never spoke to foreigners, and discovered knowledge that had been guarded for millennia. But when he returned to the West, something strange happened. Gurdjieff discovered the first power they hid from you in 1894, at the age of 26, during an experience that almost cost him his life. He had been meditating in a Tibetan cave for 3 days without eating or drinking when something extraordinary happened. Suddenly, Gurdjieff realized that he could literally see people's thoughts as if they were physical objects floating around their heads. But this was not telepathy as we know it. It was something much more revolutionary. Gurdjieff discovered that there is a dormant organ of perception in the human brain that can be activated through a specific technique. He called this organ the inverted Kunda buffer, and when activated, it allows you to perceive not only people's thoughts, but their true intentions, fears, and hidden desires. Imagine what would happen if everyone knew how to activate this ability. No politician could lie. No manipulator could deceive. The entire system of control based on lies and illusions would collapse in a matter of weeks. This is why this knowledge was systematically erased from Gurdjieff's public teachings. Gurdjieff taught this technique to only 7 students in his entire life. Each of them signed an oath of silence that lasted for decades. But before he died, one of them broke the silence and revealed exactly how to activate this dormant ability. The method is so simple it seems like child's play, but the results are so powerful they can change your life in a matter of days. But that was just the first power. The second power that Gurdjieff discovered is even more disturbing to the system. He found it not in a Tibetan cave, but in the Sahara Desert, during an encounter with a nomadic tribe that guarded secrets more than 3,000 years old. What they taught Gurdjieff about controlling physical reality will challenge everything you believe to be possible. It was 1896. Gurdjieff had been lost in the Sahara Desert for 4 days when he was found by a Bedouin tribe that should not have existed. They didn't appear on any maps, didn't speak Arabic, and practiced rituals that seemed to come from a lost civilization. The tribe's leader looked into Gurdjieff's eyes and said a single phrase that changed everything: "Have you come to seek power over dead matter?" What Gurdjieff saw that night defied all the laws of physics we know. The old Bedouin took a handful of desert sand, closed his eyes for a few seconds, and when he opened his hands, the sand had transformed into a small sphere of solid metal. But this was just the beginning. Over the next 7 days, Gurdjieff learned that the human mind can literally alter the molecular structure of matter through what they called crystallized will. This second power they hid from you is the ability to influence physical reality through specific states of consciousness. Gurdjieff discovered that there is a precise mental frequency that resonates with the basic structure of matter. When you learn to tune your mind to this frequency, you can literally talk to physical objects and cause them to behave in seemingly impossible ways. Why was this knowledge hidden? Because it represents the greatest threat to the global economic system. If people knew they could manifest physical objects through pure consciousness, the entire system based on artificial scarcity would collapse. Corporations would lose control. Governments would lose power. Humanity would awaken to its true creative nature. Gurdjieff spent 3 years practicing and perfecting this second power before discovering the third and most dangerous of all. He found this last power not through external masters, but in a near-death moment that took him to the depths of his own consciousness. What he discovered there is so revolutionary that it can literally free humanity from all systems of control, forever. In 1924, Gurdjieff suffered a near-fatal car accident that changed everything. During the 17 minutes that doctors considered him clinically dead, Gurdjieff had an experience he described as the meeting with the architect of reality. In that state between life and death, he discovered that human consciousness is not limited to the physical brain, but is, in fact, an extension of an infinite cosmic intelligence. The third power they hid from you is the most revolutionary of all, the ability to access what Gurdjieff called the cosmic database, a dimension of consciousness where all knowledge that has ever existed or will ever exist is instantly available. Gurdjieff discovered that our individual mind is just a small antenna picking up signals from an infinite universal mind. When Gurdjieff awoke from his coma, he had developed a specific technique to consciously access this higher dimension. He called it the breath of infinity, a method that combines specific breathing patterns, precise body positions, and particular mental states to open the portal of expanded consciousness. With this technique, Gurdjieff could access knowledge of lost civilizations, understand languages he had never studied, and solve complex problems instantly. This third power is the most dangerous because it makes any information-based control system completely obsolete. Imagine if everyone knew they could access any knowledge directly from the universal source. They would no longer need controlling schools, manipulative media, or experts who sell information. Each person would become an independent genius, capable of discovering truths for themselves. This is why this power was not only hidden, but actively suppressed through specific mental conditioning techniques. Gurdjieff discovered that there is a specific system designed to keep these powers dormant. He called this the perpetual sleep machine, a combination of limiting education, addictive entertainment, toxic food, and life rhythms that prevent the natural development of these capabilities. But he also discovered exactly how to break this conditioning and awaken the three powers in anyone willing to follow his method. After discovering the three hidden powers, Gurdjieff developed a complete system to awaken them in others. He called this the fourth way, a method that combines specific inner work with practical activities of daily life. Unlike traditional monastic methods, Gurdjieff's system was designed for ordinary people to live normal lives while developing extraordinary abilities. Gurdjieff's method works in three precise stages. First stage, awakening expanded perception through specific conscious attention exercises that activate the first power in 21 days. Second stage, developing crystallized will through practices that harmonize mind and matter, awakening the second power in 90 days. Third stage, opening the cosmic portal through the breath of infinity, activating the third power in 365 days of dedicated practice. During the 25 years that Gurdjieff taught his method at the Prior, hundreds of students developed these abilities. Doctors began diagnosing diseases just by looking at patients. Artists created masterpieces by channeling directly from the universal source. Scientists made revolutionary discoveries by accessing the cosmic database. But they were all instructed to keep absolute silence about the true methods. The most extraordinary thing is that Gurdjieff proved that these powers are not special gifts for a chosen few, but natural abilities of every human being that have been artificially put to sleep. Anyone, regardless of age, education, or background, can awaken these three powers by following the exact method he developed. The only question is, are you ready to discover who you really are? Today, more than 70 years after Gurdjieff's death, some of his secret students have finally decided to break the silence. They have adapted his methods to modern reality, creating simplified versions that can be practiced by anyone with 20 minutes a day. The results have been even more surprising than in the original time. Sarah, a 34-year-old executive, developed the first power in 18 days and can now read the true intentions of colleagues and clients, multiplying her professional results by 5. Marcus, a university student, activated the second power and began to influence seemingly random events, passing all his exams without even studying. Elena, a 42-year-old artist, opened the cosmic portal and now receives direct inspirations for creations that sell instantly for extraordinary values. But even today, there is active resistance against the dissemination of this knowledge. Digital platforms block related content. Algorithms suppress specific information. Influencers who start talking about these methods mysteriously lose reach or are removed. The control system has evolved, but it continues to try to keep these powers hidden from the general population. You have reached the most important moment of this journey. You now know that there are 3 extraordinary powers dormant within you. You understand why they were hidden and how the system works to keep them inactive. The only question that remains is, what are you going to do with this information? If you decide to awaken your hidden powers, the first step is to break the automatic conditioning that keeps your mind on autopilot. Gurdjieff discovered that most people live 99% of the time in a state of conscious sleepwalking, physically awake, but spiritually asleep. The first exercise is simply to start noticing when you are in this automatic state. For the next 7 days, practice the conscious awakening exercise. Every hour, take a 30-second break to consciously observe your breathing, your thoughts, and your emotional state. Don't try to change anything, just observe with total attention. This simple exercise will begin to gradually activate the first power. Remember, you are not an ordinary human being having an occasional spiritual experience. You are an infinite consciousness having a temporary human experience. Gurdjieff's 3 powers are just the beginning of a journey that can lead you to the discovery of who you really are. Your life will never be the same because now you know the truth they tried to hide from you. Use this knowledge wisely, and get ready to awaken completely. Humanity's best-kept secret is now in your hands. The final question Gurdjieff asked all his students was, are you going to use these powers to sleep more deeply, or to awaken completely? Your answer will determine not only your personal destiny, but possibly the future of human consciousness.